Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I can.
I'm trying to, so I have Commissioner Turkin in my office, and I believe Commissioner Kelly is in Andrew's office. Is that correct, Andrew?
Commissioner Kelly and I are in Andrew's office.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Adam. I'm trying to see see if we're waiting on anyone. It's only 6:01, so I want to give it like 2 more minutes. Is Commissioner Hay or Vice Mayor Hay on? I don't see him. Is Commissioner Cruz on? I don't see her.
I believe Commissioner Rebecca's on. I believe Commissioner Cruz is on vacation this entire week, if I'm not mistaken. But
Okay,
I could be.
What about Vice Mayor Hay?
I have not. He should be there. But do you want me to call him separately?
No, I'll give it 2 more minutes and then we'll get started.
Woodrow?
All right. No, I don't see him, but he can join in. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. What I want to start with announcements, which is going to be 3. I'm going to skip over 3A, which is going to be Jeannie Taylor. I'm going to go to 3B. Amanda, do you have anything you want to add to the comprehensive plan presentation at all? I know that was a big item that the commission has been talking about for quite some time, and they'll probably have some questions. So if you want to bring anything up, just let me know.
Yeah, so we did finally award the RFP. So the consultants will be attending the meeting and giving a really brief presentation. I would say it should take probably about 9 minutes. They're going to introduce themselves. They're going to talk a little bit about the process for adopting the overhaul of the comprehensive plan. And we are going to talk a little bit about public participation just to get some feedback on that process early on. And we'll talk about some key timelines and, target adoption dates as well. I did get a presentation from them. So if I am planning to attach that to the agenda tomorrow morning, so you guys will be able to get a preview of that presentation as well.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Any questions before I move on, guys? Okay.
No.
All right, so we're going to move on to administrative. 5A, ratify the Education and Youth Advisory Board Chair or Vice Chair. No issues there. B, advisory board appointments. I want to say we have 2. Do you guys want to open those up?
Mm-hmm.
And this was tabled.
The first one is tabled, the second one is a newer one.
Historic Resources Preservation Board and the Building Board, those 2. Okay.
Can we open the first attachment?
Can you open the first attachment?
I just want to see what's up. Wait, there we go.
It's Commissioner Kelly with the Building Board, and then Commissioner Cruz for the Historic Preservation Board.
What, there's openings in all of these? Let me scroll down.
Correct, there's openings and no applicants.
Yeah, we might need to take a look at this.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, all right, thanks, Andrew. Community support funds on 5C. Mayor, you want to mention anything in regards to that? All righty. 6A, this is one that I know the commission will probably want to have a little bit of discussion. This is the amend and adopt the comprehensive fee schedule for 24-25. If we have any questions as far as those fee schedules for Parks and Rec, now would be the time to bring up any questions. Fabian, are you on?
Yes, I am. I'm
Okay.
here to answer any questions if there are any.
Do you guys have any questions as far as any of the fees?
Let me take a look at that.
Okay.
All right. This includes the RVOA, right?
That's correct.
All right,
Correct.
so-
Yes. With the update to $100 for the
100.
residence pass.
And down, all right, so we're going down from 200 down to 100, good, and that's pre-COVID. And then military veterans 50. Oh, so are we doing, oh, never mind, I see it, okay.
And the slight raise to the as discussed with the commissioners, the slight raise of the non-resident beach pass to help compensate
Yeah.
these adjustments for residents. Correct.
Yeah. No, we met on this, I just want to make sure it's the same from our former conversation, and we talked about the fee for like the IT error
Veterans.
fee. Well, yeah, that, but like there's weren't we not charging a fee if there was like an error and we were eating that cost?
Correct. You are absolutely correct. Yes. There's a $10 processing fee for user error, for example,
Right,
putting in the
okay.
incorrect license plate or something. Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm good with that. What is a valet license? What is a valet license? You do valet?
What we had envisioned was, in the future, on Ocean Avenue, if the restaurants or something wanted to create valet, they could utilize one of the spaces that are the parallel spaces, and they would pay a fee to the city to rent the space. That's what that is. So
They
it's
would
in a
pay
way for them.
$150 a month?
Yes.
I think we should go a little bit more.
Well, what number
Yes,
you guys
and
thinking?
we can bring it. I was gonna say we could bring it back once this is looking like a potential
Okay,
opportunity for us.
and then maybe we
Yes.
do a step when we get more of the downtown built, and I'm guessing that's the thought behind that.
Yes,
All right.
absolutely. And we can do benchmarking too. So once we're approaching that, we could talk to other cities and see kind of what they charge and
I
charge
like
accordingly.
I like that. I think that's a really good idea.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other questions before we move on?
Yeah.
No, I just
are
want to
we-
thank you staff for thank you guys for doing this and putting this together for Harvey Bueller. I think this is something we talked about last year, and glad to see it come to fruition.
So with both 6B and C, I don't want to go too far into detail. That's in regards to the residents' flood insurance, and that's working towards us having a better flood rating, going to a 5 to a 4. So if there's any questions, though, Poonam is fully prepared to answer them. But I want to say that staff got with you guys individually on that.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions, Mayor?
I'm good.
Okay. So
And I for the consent A, are we expecting them to speak about it? Do we want to pull that and put that at the regular agenda to speak about it, or do we want to keep it up there?
do we want to keep 6A on
I
consent?
plan on pulling that.
Okay. So we're
So
Okay.
up to
Then
you
now,
guys.
so that just
So
have-
So we'll go ahead
Fabi-
and move that. We'll go ahead and move that to tomorrow when we republish. We'll move it to regular agenda.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So Fabian, just be prepared to speak on that. Okay.
No problem. Yep. And we'll have a presentation, a quick one, again too, just to highlight the changes.
Okay. 6D, that's going to be the screw board with the South Central Regional Waste Board. It's going to be the CIP budget, operation, and maintenance. You guys, whoever sits on that board, this should have already been discussed in conjunction with Delray Beach, as far as passing that. If there's any questions, Dr. Calcott's on. Approve and authorize, so 6E, approve and authorize the mayor to execute an interlocal agreement between Palm Beach County, City of Boynton Beach for ongoing provision of network services by Palm Beach County. That's to improve the citywide internet services. 6F, proposed resolution approving and authorize the assessment and recording of our nuisance abatement liens. Do you guys want to see the properties? We can pull those up if you need to. And this is just the maintenance on all of our nuisance properties. Okay, 6G, this is going to be our template for parking on a needed basis with our events, so we don't have to keep bringing back ILAs and property agreements to the commission. 6H, this is going to be both 6H and 6I are in regards to the dunes, and this is a maintenance of right-of-way agreement. FDOT's entering into an agreement with the city, and then the city's going to enter into the agreement with the dunes. If you guys have any questions on that, Amanda would be happy to answer them. 6J is going to be the approval of an ILA between the city of Boynton Beach and town of Hypaluxo for fire rescue and emergency services. Hugh and Adam did a wonderful job. They're in a 10-year contract, and I want to say there's a 4% increase annually, or a CPI, whichever is greater. Is that accurate, Hugh?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right. 6K is going to be approving Second Amendment to the Progressive Design Build Agreement with the Foster Marine Contractor to incorporate required grant provisions, attachment 8B for the town of Hypaluxo. So the town of Hypaluxo has a grant, and the provisions needed to be attached to the contract within the city. So that's what that's there for. How long is that gonna, before that's completed, their septic to sewer project, Dr. Calcott?
It's actually, the project is completed.
Okay.
It was when they were requesting a reimbursement from the grantees. They wanted that, even though that legislature was passed after the project was kind of already on the way, they still wanted that language in there to get reimbursed. And our contractor agreed, and legal looked at it, and so it's okay for us to add that language. So that's all it is now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. 6L, ratify a PO, the expenditure for FDOT for the Northeast Southeast 6th Street pedestrian crossing, an amount not to exceed $136,000 per the agreement with the locally funded agreement, and approve and authorize amendment number 1 for the locally funded agreement. This is is this going to be the crosswalk at Federal and Ocean, Kevin?
No, this is actually the cross.
Go ahead, Kevin.
This is the crosswalk over by Banana Boat and the 2 Georges.
Okay, so this is the one right by the Ocean Avenue Bridge that Commissioner Turkin requested a couple of years ago.
I know, I drove by it last night.
Do we have any enhanced lighting over there?
No, the lighting still looks the same, and the paving on the road eastbound isn't done yet.
Well, this is an
And the crosswalk's not done yet either.
This is an enhanced crosswalk, correct? This isn't a normal just there's some lighting. Is that what this is, Kevin?
This is a pedestrian crosswalk. It actually has a mast arm and everything is going to cross the road. It's $1.3 million job. Our cost share was $136,000. So it's more than just stripes on the road.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes across Ocean Avenue. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, from Marina Village. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're I seen them working on it. I think they got some of the lines painted.
Yeah, I went by there last night. That's a really mismanaged paving project, but that's not ours. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
It's a mess.
FDOT's doing that one. We aren't.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
we just did the contribution, right?
Correct. That's correct.
That's why it's taking so long, because FDOT's doing it.
Yeah.
Not Kevin. Kevin would have had that done years ago.
Yeah, we thought it better. We thought through it better. I
I
think.
remember the Boynton Beach Boulevard sidewalk widening project.
Gosh.
6M, this is a sustainability and resiliency grant in the amount of $50,000. If you guys have any questions, Poonam or either Alana can answer them. 6N is going to be approve a budget amendment to the CIP 302, increasing the budget from 21 million to 24 million by utilizing 2.7 million from fund balance. Budget transfer within this utility CIP fund 403 accounts for a total of 813,000. The utility one is some elevator replacements. The wastewater treatment plant that they weren't budgeted in the CIP. And then the 2.7, a large swath of that is all the paving projects that we said that we had to pull out of fund balance for the additional pavement that was requested. Here's all the, here's a copy of the, this is for 302 right here. This is the fund balance. And you can see you have Gulfview Harbor in here, 886,000. You have Meadows, which is 554,000. You have MLK resurfacing, 3 separate projects for about a little over 300,000.
We're gonna republish with Chapel Hill, right? The change order.
Yes, we're working on that. Kevin should have the change order and everything completed, and we'll republish tomorrow.
Kevin, what's the change order cost? Because that project was 411,000. What's it going to?
I believe it's 154, 160. We had it on 5th Street and Southwest 7th Fair. So
Is the
after we
paving
reviewed
being
these,
at
there's
under
res-
200,000? Being at it's under
Yes.
200,000, wouldn't I have an administrative authority to just approve that? Why would that need to go on to?
Because
Well,
it's the total spends over 200.
Okay, because it's going to be almost 600,000 then, correct?
Correct.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Moving on. You got the 3-month and the 6-month financial budget status report and general fund update with the utility fund through December and March 2025. We have the commission meeting minutes for 6P. Moving on to 7.
You went by.
Excuse me. 7A, approving a 4th amendment to the master service purchase agreement with Axon Enterprise Incorporated to modify existing purchase agreement and issue a purchase order for 2 replacement drones for the police department valued at $70,854 over a 24-month term. It's paid for by a credit at no cost to the city through Axon. Chief DeJulio is on if there's any questions in regard to the drone purchases. 6B, approving a second amendment for increasing the annual expenditures for the sole source agreement with South Florida Emergency Vehicles for purchase of parts, equipment, maintenance, and repair of Sutphen fire trucks and ambulances for $200,000, not to exceed the amount of $300,000. Just maintenance and repairs to the fire trucks are exceeding what we had budgeted. 7C, approve a purchase order to Atlantic Southern Paving. This is in. I'm not going to go over these items that we're pulling money from fund balance
No.
to approve the purchase.
No,
So
we're good.
essentially, C is in regards to that, and you'll see D. E is MLK. F, this is for 2 Mavericks vehicle coming out of the building fund, 7F. That's going to be for the 2 vehicles, and that's for the building department, correct, Adam?
Yes.
Okay. 7G is approve a piggyback agreement between the city and Dunright Pumps for electric motor repair and installation services. That's for the irrigation at the golf course.
It's actually
7, 8.
it's not the golf course. I was incorrect. This is for parks and utilities. They couldn't use them at the
It's
golf
not
course.
for the golf course.
No, this is for parks and grounds and utilities.
This is for the irrigation at the park, so correct?
Yes, correct.
7H, approve a resolution to award a piggyback agreement between the city and Armor Courts for furnishing and installation of acrylic coatings for outdoor sport services for an annual expenditure of $60,000 to resurface our tennis courts. 7I, approve the issuance of a purchase order to Zoll Medical Corporation for the purchase of public safety medical supplies for 1 year with an annual expenditure of $90,000. If I go over these and there's any questions, please stop me. and I'll go into more in-depth detail. 7J, approve a task order with Craven Thompson Associates for the Lawrence Road beautification landscaping. I know Commissioner Kelly, this was important to you. So any questions, we have Kevin on.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, no, that's super exciting.
so
I'm
this
looking
may be an
forward-
item that you want to pull as well.
Yeah.
You want to put it on regular?
We don't have to put it on regular. I can just pull it during consent.
Do you have any questions in regards to, can we pull that project open, Andrew, please? I know we have a few illustrations in the down further, so. It's a PDF right here, yeah. Well, maybe it wasn't that one. It's one of
Yeah, I don't see it.
I thought we had some photos, but either
And
way.
the task order? That proposal one?
Yeah, I thought I opened it
I don't
earlier.
think they have them yet.
Okay, maybe it was something else, but either
Yeah.
way, if you have any questions, Commissioner Kelly, Kevin's on.
No, I mean, I'm gonna, and I can talk to Andrew too, but, what's the timeline that we're looking at?
Kevin, you want to
Once
start?
it- Yeah, sure. Once we get them a purchase order, you're probably looking at 6 to 9 months of design. And from that point, we'll come back to the commission. We'll actually we'll involve Andrew and Dan and you and some others to look at the design. And then at that point, we'll decide if we're going to go out for bids to actually build it with Palm Beach County. I think Palm Beach County is actually going to do that. Is that right, Andrew? We're designing it and Palm Beach is like a kick in on this one.
No, actually, we're gonna end up, we have money budgeted next year for a project for construction, 750,000. So,
Oh, okay. Good.
well, there'll be a project start some point next year after the design's done. We still have to get with the county and engage them with a maintenance agreement too.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's what it was.
Mhm.
So probably summertime or this time next year, we'll be getting close to kicking off a construction site, I imagine.
That's super exciting.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
7K is a pipe relining project for Southeast First Street. 7L, this is going to be replacing the playground at JC Park.
Oh, we're gonna replace the playground? Are we gonna do those?
It's actually the
additional,
design. This is a
Oh,
design
yeah, I'm
for the new
sorry.
layout
I'm
for
sorry,
master
it's the
plan.
design. Yeah, it's design and consultant service. Later on.
So that'll be separate? from this
Correct.
design?
They got it down here that we already put the purchases in for those. And they pulled it out of they pulled a couple of different parks. I want to say Barrier Free. It was Sarah Sims, I believe, and also JC Park for the shade over the bocce ball.
Yeah, that's good. And like a little shed or something to go over there too. So one thing that makes me think, because I was at JC Park last week and I was doing my patrolling and I walked over on the pier and there's a plethora of trash in those mangroves.
Mhm,
And obviously that happens when the tide switches. There's only so much we can do.
mhm.
And I know I brought this up in the past, but I think as we go into this budget year, I want us to think about getting some type of vehicle, like a skiff or something similar to what West Palm has for like litter control.
Mhm.
And maybe also patrolling some of these canals if there's some of this, like these dock issues, right? Like I know we have an item on the agenda later in this review, that maybe could have been prevented. If
I kind of want to piggyback on. I think what we need to do, and as staff, the city doesn't have any boats dedicated to patrolling those canals or going to intercoastal waterways
yes,
to where we can actually look at stuff like that. And obviously, if you're a coastal city, you need to have some sort of vessel, both for your canals, freshwater, and also because there's a plethora of different opportunities for non-permitted docks, trash cleanup. And Adam, is there any way we can actually look at that?
Yes, for sure. Already am.
And that's obviously your guys' decision. It was something I was going to bring up, but I'm glad you kind of brought it up here. Is that something that the commission would entertain?
I think the other thing to note too is there was an issue maybe 6-7 months ago with like a houseboat that was staying in a dockage that wasn't supposed to be there and was violating code issues. And then also there was some criminal activity. They were dumping their black water there, right? And I know we have the police officer boat, but I think there's a limited scope there.
Yeah,
of
that is.
what the Marine unit could do with that. But I think when it comes to this skiff, I think it's like a departmental use, right? So solid waste code, things like that. Because I think if we had that, and we know, I mean, it's obvious to identify that there's like a houseboat dumping black water and like some undesirable activity that could have been
Off of North Road.
right. That's what I'm saying, and that was going on for months and months and months.
Another,
for these poor
yes.
residents,
Right.
So I think not only is it a reactive like solution, but I think we can be proactive with it. So that's just a thought I got when I was looking at JC Park the other.
I could see a usage for probably 2 vessels, especially with the building department and also code enforcement. The city would just have to obviously train someone that's going to be able to navigate those vessels in the waterways.
It's not unprecedented. There's a number of cities to the south that I'm aware of where their building code enforcement departments actually have boats. So
Could we take those funds out of the building fund, not the CIP?
yeah, we will be creative.
All right, thanks, sir. Where did we leave off? We left off with the 7L. Okay, so 7M. This is our annual replacement of our fencing and maintenance and repair, and not to exceed $250,000. That's citywide. 7N, and this is going to go into the shades that I was speaking about. 7N is going to be an expenditure from 162,000 to 279,000, and that's going to include JC Park. Is that correct, Kevin?
Yes, that is correct.
7O, West Architectural Design for Pence Park Reconstruction Project in the amount of 375,000 and a 10% allowance of 37,500 for unforeseen conditions for a total of 413,000. CRE is reimbursing us for that. Correct, Andrew?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. 7P. Again, this is West Architecture and Design for professional services, design service for project in the Marine Complex in the amount of $334,515 plus 10% allowance of $33,452 for unforeseen. This is the build out for our Marine Complex. And does this include the cost that they're going to? And obviously, they know that we have to raise that building. Hugh, I guess you'd be the one to kind of talk about this.
Yes, they do. They're aware.
Okay. All right.
I got a question real quick about these allowances. Do we do that just so if there's a change in cost, we don't have to come back
Correct.
for reapproval? Yes. And then how do we just distribute those funds back into the general fund if there is an excess, or do we reallocate that?
No.
How does that work? How are we tracking that?
They will go back into fund balance.
Into fund balance.
Correct.
So you're putting everything into fund balance.
If
But
it's
that's
not-
a CIP. Those are CIP dollars, so they'll go back to the CIP fund balance.
So that's going to be 302. If we're using 302 or 303, they're going to have their own fund balance, and it's going to go right back in there.
Got it. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I can tell you, like Kevin and Carl, like they pride themselves on doing projects under cost.
Yeah, that's good. I like that it goes in the fund balance.
Yeah. Where'd I leave off? Okay, 7P. Any questions on the Marine Complex? That's going to be being paid to the fire assessment, and that's going to be both for police and fire, right, Hugh?
Yes, sir. The public safety dock will house both the police vessel and the fireboat.
Hugh, I got a question for you. So I know the fireboat's delayed a little bit, right? When are we anticipating that arriving?
October, November.
All right, so it's still this year.
And but we're gonna go ahead and put the rigid hull inflatable on the dock, on the lift as soon as it's completed, so that we still won't have to trailer it from special operations station. It'll be there, and it'll be much quicker once it's there until the other boat gets there.
Makes sense. Maybe just a thought, since we're discussing potential additional vessels, maybe we look at, obviously we wouldn't keep them on a lift because I know that's gonna be expensive if we were to change that. But is there, I don't know what the layout is for this public safety dock, but if there's an opportunity to create an area to keep those on trailers, I think it's easier, just so we don't have to.
If
I guess maybe you could keep them at Public Works
PD
or PD, yeah. Well, I just think east of 95 would be more convenient, you know?
No,
Maybe-
they have to, yeah.
I mean, the best place would be at Harvey Oyer, right?
It would be.
So if there's room, you know, to keep additional vessels, they could keep them there, because you guys are gonna fence in that area, right, Hugh?
Yes, that's correct. And what we can do, Commissioner, is we'll.
Do you see what I'm trying to, you see the
100%.
picture I'm painting?
Yeah, 100%. We'll
right.
take a look at it because we might be able to put a float on dock somewhere, there as well
Not a bad
for an
idea.
additional vessel.
Yeah,
So,
that's
well-
great. Yeah, that or keep it on the trailer behind the fence.
You can do that too. There'll be plenty of room for that on the east side of the station. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll take a look at it and I'll let you know as you guys begin to plan out the other vessel purchases.
Yeah, let me know when that fireboat comes in. I'm excited.
Yes, we're all extremely excited. You all will be the first to know.
All right, thanks, Chief.
You're welcome, sir.
7Q is going to be a increase to our warehouse supply expenditures from 120,000 not to exceed 190,000. 7R going to be approved purchases and subscription of Argus Hub Premium, Argus online community platform, along with supplemental GIS tools to support the city's Adopt a Road program and Environmental Systems Research Institute in an amount not to exceed 200,000. 7S is approved the First Amendment to the piggyback agreement with Cone authorization of one-time expenditure in the amount not to exceed 1.2 million for the replacement of 3 elevators. This is including the 813,000 removal from the 403 utility fund. Is that correct, Kevin? This is for the Westwater elevators and also the schoolhouse museum, I believe.
Correct.
Where's
That
the
is
third
right.
elevator at?
There's
Yeah, it's
two, there's one.
also-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Sabrina.
sorry, Kevin, it's also the utility administration building, so the
Okay.
2 elevators being replaced, one at the West Plant and one at the utility admin building.
Okay, all right, perfect. Are those, now we're replacing those elevators with Cone, Kevin. Now, what elevators do we have in City Hall?
We're okay. It's not so much what they are as what safety measures they have on them, but we have Schindler's in City Hall.
You know where I'm going with this, correct?
I know we're not putting that in there. That's fine.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I know where you're going. No, I don't want to experience that either. But we have Cone, which is a great elevator company and maintenance company, so we'll be fine. We're not putting that in. All right.
Amanda, I'm gonna let you take T. Okay, go with your public art master plan review.
Yeah, sure. So 6T, we are awarding from the RFP also future forms for the public art master plan. They came in at $75,000 and we have a $7,500 contingency that we're adding to that. And they will be, they won't be present, but they will be online. If we have any questions, I'll also be present if there are any details that anyone wants to go over as well.
All right, thanks, Amanda. Can you pull up Andrew, because there's a our renewal for the 157,000 for, is Maria going to be at the commission meeting, Hugh, in case they have any questions as far as that? I don't think they're going to have any questions renewing the command counseling center. I think we use that. Have we had any sort of performance metrics tracking the usage of that that service?
I could check with her and I could get the total number of sessions. That's about the best we can do, which gives you a good indication of how many folks are using the service. But pardon me, it's not just the service for the sessions. That's biannual training. In fact, right now they're doing department-wide training and teaching post-traumatic stress techniques, breathing techniques, relaxation techniques, going through a lot of biochemical and physical reaction to stress. So they're part of the contract is also this mental health and education for first responders. So I can reach out to her and see if she'll be available, but I can comment if necessary on any aspect.
Are there any PD personnel going through that training, or is that just fire?
To my knowledge, it's both PD and fire. I'd have to check with her or with Joe to see what she's been doing over there lately, but I know it does cover both departments.
Okay. It's a valuable resource. I understand that, but I want to make sure that there's an ROI and we're actually utilizing the service.
100%.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions with any of these annual renewals that we have on you before I move forward?
No.
Oh, all righty. Moving on, 8A, and Amanda, I'll let you take both 8A and item 8B. We're going to table that because I think we need to do a little bit more due diligence into that specific item. If the commission's okay with us tabling it?
Yeah, I want to get with Adam.
Okay.
About that and building. I got some more questions, and my thought is I think I need to look more internally if there's anything that we can do.
So let's just go over 8A, Amanda, and we'll skip 8B.
Wait, can I just have some quick clarification on B? We're not going to table it at the meeting. We're just going to bump it once we republish it.
We're going to keep
Is that
it on
correct?
the table.
When we republish it, the item is going to go to future agenda item.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Yeah. So just go over 8A, Amanda.
The applicant did renotice this meeting. Have there been any other conversations with the applicant that we should be aware of, or because they are all under the assumption, both HOAs are under the assumption this will be heard tomorrow? We've been in communication with their
But you haven't been in
attorneys.
communication with me, and I got more questions about this.
Okay, so
just
we should
quick
notify
question.
the applicant then.
Well, could they make time to make time for you, Commissioner,
So
prior to
Sean,
the
I don't like
meeting
doing
on
things at the
Tuesday?
11th hour. That's what I don't like. And I
Okay.
work full time.
No.
I value my
I
time.
understand.
I'm here. I don't like being pushed 11th hour. I don't like
Okay.
doing things hastily.
No, I'm just trying to
So
clarify.
I'm going to say this. I will be tabling this item, and if there's consensus, there's consensus. So I will address it at the very beginning of the meeting, and maybe since you guys have those HOA's contact info and we haven't been in the loop, you guys can send that email to them and allow them maybe a recap of my discussion from this evening.
No. Well, when we republish it, we'll republish it with 8B on the future agenda. We'll reach out to them, letting them know that there's additional due diligence that's needed from a staff side and also with the commission, and we'll bring it back at a later date. So just table the item when we republish it. So
Absolutely.
let's go
So
on.
I will contact the applicants to let them know. That's all I wanted to know is if I should reach out to them and let them know we're tabling it from now.
Okay. Let's get into these impact fees.
Okay, this one's actually very, very simple. This is a very minor amendment to the mobility fee that we just passed. We are simply changing the applicability from when, right now it says that it'll impact when the applications on when they're submitted instead of when they're issued. Which is an oversight based on staff's part. The correct way to do this and consistent with all of our other impact fees is based on when they are issued. So it is a very simple one-word amendment to make it consistent for administrative reasons.
All right. So 10A, pretty self-explanatory. This was a item that was brought forth earlier that it's going to be approved the establishment of a charter review committee. This is in line with quite a few other municipalities when the charter needs to be updated or we need to push charter amendments to referendum. And we just got to look at and get clarification of what's the board going to look like? How often do you want to update the city's charter? Is it going to be every 5 years, every 10 years? And any charter updates that the commission wants to see. So
Can we click on this?
Yeah.
And I can provide information about this particular item if you have, and then kind of what I envision for you guys might want to explore for the future.
Yeah,
But-
real quick for the, so I know we've discussed, and I think we've got actual consensus about the previous discussion regarding like residency and elections. And so I just want to make sure that we're, clear that I want to move forward with those initiatives, right? And my purpose of establishing this and having this conversation is to then allow this charter committee to obviously do what its name is, right? Review the charter, propose certain things, let them be autonomous. And I didn't dive through this yet, Shauna, but based on our conversations, it seems that, my opinion is we allow, like, each individual in the dais gets to select a member, and then we allow those individuals to select their chair, vice chair, and then allow them their first assignment. And
Yeah, so
my vision is that, like, legal will be a part of this process, right? So there's a subject matter expert, and that way they're just not relying amongst themselves. Does that make sense?
of course.
Okay.
If you want, I can give you kind of just a brief overview.
Yeah, that'd be
because I know
great.
this is okay. Great. So
I just can't see
based
from
on the
here.
direction that I got from the commission, there's different ways to do charter review committees. So this one, because of the time frame and getting something on the referendum by March, the way this one is going to work is each commissioner will pick someone, and then at this meeting, you don't have to pick it at this meeting, we just do the reso. On August 5th, we will ratify the selection of each commissioner. At that same meeting, those charter review committee hopefully will be there, and the commission will direct what charter provisions you want looked at. Okay, and then by
Reviewed.
October 20 reviewed, correct.
All right.
And then
so
by
I think
October
that-
21st.
So I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
So what I said earlier, I want this committee to also have the autonomy to bring things forward, because there might be something that myself or Mayor Shelton or Commissioner Kelly look at that they see, right, or vice versa, or that they might not see, or there might be something that I'm not seeing that is a great idea. So what I don't want to do is box these individuals in on what they can and cannot bring forward.
So the way I have that written right now is
Uh-huh.
that for something to come to you guys for a recommendation from the committee
Okay.
is that it has to be a majority vote of the committee.
Okay.
And then
But the
they will
committee
come
has
to
the
you.
autonomy to
They do.
discuss items. So say I'm on the committee, I want to bring something. I just want to make sure they have the freedom and that they're able to generate ideas, or maybe look at things in the past that worked, didn't work, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And otherwise, it's just, there's no reason to have a committee if they're just following marching orders from us. I don't like that. I want them to I want them to operate independently, free thinking, and autonomously.
It can be more, so I was thinking a more higher level. These are the areas, that we have concerns with, higher level, section or number A, right? But not
So the
saying what the
commission is saying
concerns are
this.
with the A. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you can say we have concerns about this one, but not giving them specific direction necessarily. Okay, and they will have, but do they have time to go through the entire charter and make recommendations for an entire charter overhaul? They don't. So we
Right.
do have to put bumper rails on it, right?
Fair.
And
fair.
so there has to be some high level, but if there is something with the Charter Review Committee where there is a majority vote, then on October 21st, they will come with you and say, these are our recommendations. And then everything is 100% at the discretion of the commission, whether or not we take that forward for an referendum.
Well, I
Because
just
of our
wanna highlight,
timeframes.
too, I mean, these things might, whatever is discussed and brought up there, I mean, we don't even know if there's March elections, right? So if there's not March elections, if there's anything that the board discussed and brought up, that there wouldn't be an opportunity for any,
Well,
like, say, for example, if, like, we've all decided that we want to change in the residency and how we operate our elections, you know, we're there. This board has decided to move forward. Legal's working on that, right? We don't need that to go through the review committee. If there's not an election in March, that will then not go until the November midterm ballot.
well, a couple quick things. Let me just highlight
is that right?
Even if there is not a March election, we
Uh-huh.
can still send a referendum and open our polling places.
So that's
Now, there-
expensive, and I mean, we can do that, right? And I think, I don't want to get too in the weeds of that conversation, but I think
Okay.
the more, like, I understand what you're saying, we do have the ability to do that. I think
Mhm.
the more frugal way is to, like, organize these with, you know, obviously our elections, when people are gonna come out and vote, or in the midterms.
Well, there is one caveat with the November election. So
You
we
have to
have
get it in
received
like a year
information.
before, like December, I think.
Let me just briefly tell you quickly, my envision of this, right, really quickly, is, you know, it's more specific focused. And then let's assume we have an election in March. We do that. Then before January, we create a charter review ordinance, which requires the city every 5, 7, 10 years to create a charter review committee. And then we would do that high level review. That's going to take a year.
Uh-huh.
And then go forward, and not this specific incidents. But let me just caution you about going in November. There may be some pushback from the supervisor of elections that she will not put this on a November election, a referendum from a
So
city.
I think we have
Now-
that, I mean, I wouldn't assume that. I have a decent relationship with Wendy
Okay.
Link, and so I think, I think if I remember from a while ago, there was the Parks Fund, I think it was. I think we
Right.
had to get it in November or December in order to get it on the November ballot, whatever. I think the thing here is, like, what is crucial to everything in life is communication. And so maybe we email them, hey, here's what the city of Boynton's kind of thinking about. What are your thoughts, right? And let's
Right, and
start
this-
that communication.
Can I,
Okay.
this is Maylee. Can I really quickly, I just wanted to chime in on that. I did speak to, Wendy Link directly.
Uh-huh.
And straight from her voice, she had told me, straight from her mouth, she told me, no municipal elections, get any referendums or their ballots on the, November election unless they actually have a November election. But she said they will not go on the November election. Now, I don't know if
And
things
here's
They're
what
not
I-
gonna-
will change,
Wait,
but
let me
she
just,
had-
let me pause.
Can we
you
get that in
guys.
writing?
Wait, let me pause you guys a second. She said that. She has no right to do that. So I
that's
just
why I
want
wanted
you to
writing.
I want you to factor in that if we were to get someone who says we're not doing that for November, we would have to file a writ of mandamus. I just want you to factor in the legal mechanisms that might have to go in if we get pushback for November. But we are getting way far ahead and above of what we're doing right now. And I think I hear what you guys are saying, what you want right now, and our plan is to get that done for you.
Yeah, I think let's just like start correspondence with the supervisor elections, like documented though.
Okay. Any sort
Yeah.
of correspondence that you have going forward, Maylee, or Sean, let's just make sure we get something in email that is going to be memorialized.
Okay, Maylee and we'll work together on that.
All right. Any more questions before we end the agenda review? I know we have some future agenda items up as well. If there's any questions on those. Mayor? Okay. All right, guys. Anything from staff before I end it? Already.
One thing, Dan.
Okay.
We will have, we already mentioned the one item that will probably be republishing, which is the change order for the Chapel Hill paving. We have the golf cart item is going to be republished. We'll republish that probably tomorrow. I'm also working on the ERP for the city. We're looking to bring that also back or republish either Friday or Monday, the latest. We're working out the final details. We hope to have that worked out tomorrow and put that on the agenda. So if we do that, I'll give everybody a call just to go over kind of what that item is going to be and what's involved individually with the commission.
How soon can we get
Thank
that
you.
ERP item on the agenda, Andrew?
We're hoping to have it tomorrow, republish with adding it tomorrow. Latest will be
Okay.
Monday.
All right, perfect. All right, thanks, sir. All righty. All right, guys, have a
Andrew?
good night. Oh.
Andrew,
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
would you just send me a text message on that? Because I got a lot of family down here dealing with the death of my wife's brother. So just because I may not be in place to get your phone call.
Okay.
Thank
Yep,
you, man.
I'll coordinate with you.
I appreciate
I'll get
it.
connected with you so I can give you an update.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a
All
nice
right.
evening, everyone.
Take care.
All right, guys.